First off, you will want to go to the settings screen and change your resolution and display options. I recommend setting the windowed mode and borderless, and then typing in your monitor's resolution. If you run the game full screen and alt tab to desktop or to another program from it, it will crash. This is a known issue. Another thing to change is your player name. This is used for local high scores, and you may want to disable the debug overlay. Also, take a look at the key binding section. Here you can find all the rebindable keys for the game. Most of these are only used in the battles. Click save and exit, and you have to restart the game to apply the display settings. Okay, next up you probably want to go straight to action, and for that the free skirmish battle mode is a good option. Here you can set up both fleets, your own and enemy, and also change battle settings. Just hit the generate button to generate a fleet within this budget, and the budget can be changed here. To make this an easy battle, you can make your fleet significantly more expensive and thus better than the enemy. If you want to add ships to your fleet, just click on them on this list and add to the player. Then you can change the number of each ship type. Just remove this one and so on. And then when you are ready, just hit the start battle button here. This takes you to the deployment phase of the battle, where you can freely position your ships within this deployment zone, marked in green. To move your ships around, select them with the mark E or from this V3 here. Clicking, the headings will select the whole group of one type of ships or class, and then to create a formation you hold the right mouse button and then also the left alt on your keyboard and drag to the direction and the distance you want the formation until it looks like something you want. You can then scale these formations by again dragging the right mouse button and holding the left shift key on your keyboard. This creates a scaling effect. You can also combine this with the left alt key to have both effects active at the same time. Okay, one thing about the selections is that you can add to selection by holding the left control key, and remove from selection by holding the left alt key, like this. Okay, when you have positioned your ships, just either click this title here or the end deployment button at the bottom. Then the game goes to pause mode, that you can then start the game by either clicking the title or hitting these buttons here. Pause, slow motion, normal speed, fast forward. And this slider is also performs the same functions of game speed changing. Another easier way to pause the game is to hit the spacebar key. This is rebindable. So okay, so you have your ships and the enemy is incoming already. To give orders to attack, you select the ships and then right click on the enemy. The attack order is indicated with these red lines, and the ships will automatically move to the optimal firing range. And they will stop once the enemy is destroyed. Note that when you select all your ships, they display the radius of the ship. This radius is not only a visual thing, it is used in the collision avoidance logic. And the ships can't move closer to each other than their radius is hollow. So if you have a large ship and you try to position smaller ships around them, it won't work. They will just, the collision avoidance will kind of fight the positioning order. Similarly, this can cause problems if you are trying to move your ships to the other sides of, especially with big ships. To remedy this, you can toggle the collision avoidance off from here, and now the ships won't care about collisions, but as you can see, this causes damage, and you can even get your ships destroyed if you are not careful. So in this battle we can just select our ships, create a new formation by holding the left alt key, maybe a little bit bigger, put the collision avoidance back on, and since our fleet was much larger than the enemy fleet, the battle is basically over already. The enemy only has these two ships left. So really quickly, just click on the enemies to attack. Another thing to note here is that since our ships are much smaller than the enemy they are targeting, they are automatically flanking, trying to move to these side positions to attack from the sides. This has multiple conditions. For example, the enemy can't spin too fast, but here we can disable the flanking logic completely to make this a bit faster maybe. Okay. And if you zoom out, it's often difficult to see your ships. And one remedy for this is to hold the tab key. This highlights all commands and ships you have. So if I for example give these ships a movement order and then deselect them, I can't see where they are going, but if I hold the tab key, it temporarily displays all commands. Similarly, if I select them all, Control A, and give the attack order. Even if I deselect them, I can see that where they are going and what's going on. Let's fast forward, and we have won the battle. After big battle, this battle end screen can take a while to load. Here you can see all the remaining ships in your fleet and their state and such stats. Okay. And this gets us back to the menu. Okay, next let's take a quick look at the battle challenges. These are ready-made battle scenarios, which can be fixed battles where you just control your fleet in the battle, or fleet creation where you have to create your own fleet to battle this enemy fleet, or fixed enemy fleet which currently doesn't come with the game. There you can also set the battle settings in addition to creating your own fleet. So an easy one to start with is this target practice, where you have two unarmed enemy ships. And when you set the, note that this is fleet creation type challenge, just play the challenge. It takes you to the basically to the free skirmish battle screen where you can create your fleet or compose it, and you have a set budget. Easiest way is again just generate a fleet, and you can view all kinds of stats if you want. Then just go to the start battle again and deploy your ships. Something like this. We seem to have only fighters in this battle. End deployment and start the game. Then just give the attack order and see that now the flanking is happening. As you can see, they are trying to move to the sides of the ship rather than taking a direct attack approach. If I disable this, then they will just go straight for the enemy. Okay, but let's not play this battle here. To exit the battle, you can either hit this close the topmost screen button, and if you have the debug overlay enabled from the settings, it will first close the debug overlay, and then on the second click it closes the battle. But here you can also, in the battle mode, you can hit the escape key to go to this pause menu where you can save the battle or load an existing saved one, and also access the settings menu. This is useful for looking at the bindings and so on. And from here you can either press the cancel or close this from here. You can resume or exit. And then the last thing for this video, I will show some very basic ship editing. Go to the fleet at ship editor, and here it starts with a fleet with just this core module ship. You can select it and click the edit ship button, or just simply double click on it to create a new ship design. Here you can add various modules, click on the module, and then you see that you get this kind of cursor module. You can click to place the modules, or if you click on an existing module, it will try to replace that module. You can also just drag like this. This is now a bit laggy because of the recording, but you get the idea. These white dots show you points where you can add modules. Note that the armor doesn't provide connection to this outer side. Just add some generators, some weapons, of course, and then some thrusters. Let's put some armored thrusters at the front and also at the sides. Note that this is the center of mass, so you want your sideways thrusters to be, or actually all thrusters kind of symmetrical around the center of mass. Okay, then just put some corner modules, and you can rotate the cursor module by pressing the Q or E keys on your keyboard. Okay, this is a very basic ship design then. One thing nice to know is that if you hold the tab key here and hover over modules, you can see some stats about them. For simple modules, it just shows the name, but for actuators like thrusters, it shows some stats about their use. Then you can just calculate the movement groups and see that these thrusters are now assigned to multiple groups and so on. You can check the groups here. And weapon groups, automatically calculate those as well. And we are not going to add any action groups. Then you can go to the design evaluation to get an idea if this is any good. And well, it's not very good actually. The automatic grouping isn't perfect here, but well, then you can just also compare this to different ships, like a simple fighter. So the defense rating on this one is much better than the simple fighter and so on. All of these tables in the game are actually sortable, as you can see. To save your design, double click on the empty area or press this X here. Oh, and by the way, you can undo your structural changes. If I delete this, for example, and then just undo. Okay, so to save your ship, you have to exit the editing mode and then go to save as, create a new one, and fill in your information. Save. Okay, now it's saved. Confirm, and if you update this browser, you can now see that we should have a ship name asked here. You can also filter this list like this. So now we have a fleet of these, and we can test the design by clicking on the test battle. This brings you to a basic battle where you have your ships and the enemy has the identical fleet as well. And here you can of course fly your ship as well. But let's not go into that in this video. Okay, hopefully this tutorial or whatever has been useful. Thanks for watching and have fun.